Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Stub Club. My name is Adam, and I hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. I've got a Five Nights at Freddy's trailer breakdown for you guys, but first, if you want to see my trailer reaction, go ahead and follow me on TikTok at Stub Club. I'll leave a link in the description. Also, make sure to like and subscribe with the notification bell turned on. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Unknown caller. What?
Hello?
Hello, this is Adam.
Check on the curtain in Pirate Cove from time to time. The character in there seems unique in that he becomes more active if the cameras remain off for long periods of time. I guess he doesn't like being watched. I don't know.
Yo, dude, I think you have the wrong number.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you. Who the heck was that guy? Whatever. Alright, so the first thing we see in the trailer is our main protagonist, Mike, who I presume to be Mike Schmidt, played by Josh Hutcherson, looking for a job as a security guard and calling a career counselor, who is played by Matthew Lillard, asking him if the job he recommended was still available. Now, the first thing I want to say about this scene right here is everyone was under the impression that Matthew Lillard was going to be playing Purple Guy, aka William Afton. Even me. Now, if you don't know who William Afton is, he's the guy that owns Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and he's done some pretty sketchy stuff. But from the looks of it, the name on the desk says Steve Raglan, which makes me wonder if Shaggy here is still going to be playing as William Afton, but under another alias. And the only reason that would make sense is because in the games, William cut corners for the pizzeria, narrowly avoiding lawsuits, which eventually ended up happening anyways, shutting down the entire business due to a specific accident that I'll get here in a second. But if you went by another name, like Steve Raglan, he could hide from the law. Just like in the video game Five Nights at Freddy's 2, when the feds came to investigate Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they couldn't find the owner. There's more lore to discuss, but I'll save it for later, because in the next scene, we see that Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria has been closed down, while a voiceover from Steve is saying it's been that way for years, and the owner doesn't want to let it go, which implies that William Afton does exist in the film and is still alive. Mike then pulls into the driveway of the restaurant, and we see he brought his little sister Abby along with him, telling her while he is working she needs to go to sleep. They then enter the building, and Mike walks around to kind of get a feel of the place, looking around, seeing what's up, until we finally see him in the security office, where we get another voiceover of Steve telling him all he has to do is watch the monitors. As Mike is watching them, however, he notices someone is at the front door of the pizzeria and goes to check it out. We are then introduced to the female officer played by Elizabeth Lale, who I believe is Vanessa, the security guard from FNAF Help Wanted and Security Breach, although the trailer never specifies her name. Mike welcomes her in, and she pretty much gives him a rundown of what he signed up for, asking him if he's met them yet, referring to the animatronics, which he replies, "Who?" implying that he hasn't. The trailer then cuts to a scene where Mike peeks behind the curtain of the main stage, where we get a little sneak peek of Freddy. Then to another scene where he starts getting tired and eventually passes out on the desk. And that's when everything starts to get a little quirky. Because all of a sudden, music starts blasting over the speakers, the lights turn on, giving us a better look at the restaurant, and the animatronics start dancing on stage. All this wakes Mike up in a surprise, and he rushes over to reset the power and check the cameras to see what the heck is going on. But everything seems normal. We then go back to Vanessa talking about the diner, teaching Mike the history of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, telling him that in the 80s, a bunch of kids went missing at the restaurant. When the police searched the building, they never found them. And while she's speaking, we see Abby wandering around the building when she walks up to the stage and two glowing orange eyes light up behind the curtain. I'm not a fan of the orange eyes, to be honest. I think they look a little weird on the animatronics, but I'm sure I'll get used to them by the time the movie comes along. After this scene, we see Mike coming to terms of what's happening, where he's like, "Oh, so basically we're dealing with possessed robots." And Vanessa replies, "Well, technically they're animatronics, but yeah, pretty much." And Mike responds, "So what do they want?" To which Vanessa replies, "They want to make your sister like them." We then cut back to Abby walking around the restaurant again, where we get a glimpse of Bonnie and Foxy as Abby stands up on a chair to get a better look at Freddy when a hand reaches out of the mouth to grab her. Now hold your horses here. I think this scene in the trailer is a red herring. I don't believe that's Abby being grabbed. I think it's the female in this scene here. And what we're looking at is a group of adults going into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and trying to get justice for the missing children. And well, things don't end so well for them. We then see Mike talking to Vanessa again, asking her how to stop the animatronics, and she tells him it's too late. Where we cut to a scene that I was not expecting to see. Springtrap, with glowing white eyes, appears on the screen while we hear humming of the classic theme from the restaurant. Now, like I previously stated earlier about the lore, Springtrap is the reason Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria shut down for good. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't played the games, but what ends up happening is one of the main characters of the games ends up locking themselves in the suit for safety, but unfortunately gets crushed and killed by all the cross beams, wires, and devices in the suit. Now, I don't know how the movie is going to represent Springtrap, seeing as how this film is going to be roughly based on the second game in the franchise, and by now the restaurant is already closed. So it's almost like they're implementing the third installment in with the movie as well, since Springtrap was the main protagonist in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Who knows, though? Whatever happens, I'm excited for it. But the trailer doesn't end there. We see a couple clips of Vanessa in a hospital bed with Mike by her side, which I think will take place toward the end of the movie. And also Mike in a mall, it looks like, beating up a guy in a fountain. I think this scene will take place in the beginning of the film, seeing as how he's wearing a security outfit, and beating somebody up is a pretty fireable misdemeanor, which would then lead to him talking to Steve Raglan, the career counselor, about getting a new security gig at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Then we see Mike crawling out of a vent, which is kind of sus in my opinion. And another shot of Springtrap holding a knife as Mike is trying to escape, only realizing that the doors have been locked from the inside. The scene cuts, and we see Mike strapped to a chair, face to face with an open-faced animatronic, revealing spinning blades on the inside, moving closer and closer. I think this might be the film's adaptation of scooping. In case you don't know what scooping is, in the 5th game, you play as Mike Schmidt in an underground rental facility for animatronics. And on the last level of the game, you find out that faulty animatronics end up getting their endoskeletons taken out from the costume by a process called scooping. Now, unfortunately, in the game, Mike gets tricked by a possessed animatronic and unfortunately gets scooped himself. But I don't see it happening in this movie. The title card then shows, and in the last scene of the trailer, we see a little funny clip of a taxi cab being called out to the restaurant, and the driver looks back and gets jump scared by a worn down golden Freddy head with glowing blue eyes. But he eases down when he sees Abby in the back seat and responds, "Why do I always get the weirdos?" Now, I'm going to be honest, I think the trailer revealed a little bit too much information, especially with Vanessa and Mike in the hospital, and even the Springtrap reveal. I don't know how long the movie is going to be, but seeing as how Blumhouse has a track record of films being less than 2 hours, you can probably expect this movie to be on the shorter side. Which pretty much means that whatever you watched in this trailer is pretty much going to be the entire movie. One more thing I want to mention is I think Vanessa is acting a little suspicious. Like, why in the hell would you have any interest in a new security guard at a closed restaurant? And why are you acting so calm about the situation he's in? Why aren't you chewing him out for taking a stupid job like this and bringing his little sister who's in bigger danger than he is? That's just something I picked up on a little bit. But other than that, I've got no complaints. The trailer looks awesome. Let me know your opinion in the comments section down below. And be on the lookout for my Indiana Jones 5 spoiler-free review coming out this weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.